Steve Roach, head coach. Back here is Carly Jones. She's our new assistant coach. So if you haven't, I encourage you to say hi and get to know her. Cindy Muri is also coaching again this year. She's much more limited. She had a fortunate accident with her ankle and is in a boot and needs a scooter, but is doing great. So, and Bob is still around. He'll be around a little less than before, but he'll still be around. So, anyways, so glad you guys could be here. If you have questions at any point, let me know. So, anyways, first thing, just want to reiterate the Booster Club thing, just so you know how it benefits us. For one, our senior night, which we get to do every year, they give us money to do things, and I've got some wonderful parents that, and I'll be emailing you about this later, but parents to come up with ideas of ways to honor our seniors. They've done all kinds of cool things in the past, and Booster Club sort of allows that to happen. So they pay for the things to honor them. We do things like we go to, so one of our big things is our overnight trip. Unfortunately, we don't get to go to Portland this year because they changed the date on us. Instead, we're going to go to Spokane, and we get to do some fun team building activities there. So the funds for that come out of there, and so there's several different ways that it benefits our team. So if you haven't, I definitely encourage you to. Also, just as kind of a side note, if you join the Booster Club, when your son or daughter is a senior, they can apply for the Booster Club scholarship. It's like, I think it's like a $1,000 scholarship. So anyway, so there's all kinds of other benefits besides the fact that it supports all of our sports. So if you would, if you're considering, I definitely encourage you to. One other way that you can also support through Booster Club is, we talked about concessions. So our season's kind of funky because a lot of the dates that they need concessions are dates that we have cross-country meets. But there is one that I signed us up for in October. So I'll be there and I'll help to lead. If any of you are interested or willing to be a part of that, let me know. I'll be sending in. I'm not putting it on the burner right now because we have other things to do first, but that's something that we will need help for. And if any of you are willing to, so also part of it is in like winter season when there's basketball and wrestling and there's a lot more events that need booster or need concessions for. I'll probably sign up for some of those as well. So if you're interested or willing at all in helping in any of those, or if any of you have your food handler's card, that could also be wonderful because then you could be like a lead person. They're doing a training. It's actually in 2 days. It's at right there at the Apple Bowl concessions place. So if you're interested, I have a sign-in sheet here. But I love that if you guys could do it. Either way, we're committed to at least one this fall. And like I said, we get a couple $100 when we do it. The kids get to kind of hang out, have some fun. They get snacks, and we get money at the end of the day too. So anyway, okay. So next, communication. Hopefully, you're all here because you've been getting my communication. This year, the 2 main ways we're supposed to communicate are with Parent Square and Final Forms. So Final Forms I know is a little funky because it just says Final Forms, and you're like, well, I get like 18 a day from them, so I don't know what to look for. So every Sunday, I'll be planning to send out an email through Final Forms and also Parent Square. I was told that just today we got all of the parents and stuff into I looked at my list and I had 13 names on there. Like, we have a lot more than 13. So anyways, apparently Parent Square should be functional after today, that I can use that more instead of we're supposed to move away from Remind. I'm going to kind of retire the Remind and just go all Parent Square. So if you're not, get the app, download it. Your information's already in the system, so you probably will get communications if you haven't already. So, all right, next thing, just common questions I get. Practices. Practices every day, basically, 3:45 to 5:15. Pretty consistently, even days that we're down at the park or we're off site. The only exception would be on like Monday this week because we had no school and I wanted to get in before the heat, so we did 10 in the morning. And I'll try to communicate that in advance, but otherwise plan at 3:45 to 5:15. I mean, we might be a few minutes early or late. Also, pre-meet days will be a little bit shorter because we want our kids to be fresh and fast for the meet. So if your son or daughter needs to be absent for practice, send me an email, send me a Parent Square message or something like, my daughter has an appointment, my son is sick today, whatever, and then I just excuse it, and that's probably the easiest way to communicate with me about missing. I already talked about, Wednesdays will be at Walla Park. Tomorrow's an exception because of the heat and our rules around heat. You're not allowed to run outside when it gets above a certain heat index. So we got permission to practice tomorrow at Town Toyota Center, which is right next to Walla Park. It'll be indoors. We'll be doing some stadium stairs, that kind of stuff. Kind of make the most. Today we were inside on the bikes and in the hallways, and just make kind of make the best of the situation. So, but otherwise, Wednesdays, with only a couple exceptions, will be at Wallow Park, and we generally meet near Shelter 1. So it's the shelter closest to the playground, if that helps. If you go to the one that's kind of off towards the beach, then that's the wrong one. So, anyways, that's typically where we meet, and that's where you can, if your son or daughter doesn't drive, that's when you need to pick them up from. So, generally 5:15. Okay, meets. We have a total of, I think it is 7 meets. We have 2 league meets, 5 invites, and then districts and state. And one of the important things to know in cross country, unlike track, everyone goes to every meet. The only exception will be state. State, only those that qualify for state get to go. Otherwise, if it's on the schedule, your son or daughter is invited. So there's no, we still will run varsity and JV, races, things like that, but everyone competes in the same day. So, important, if your son or daughter is not available for a meet, have them come talk to me or Carly or Cindy or somebody and let us know. Part of it is I need to arrange, I need to set up lineups of who's varsity, who's JV. Particularly this week, if any of you are not available this week, because we're going to the Ellensburg relays, it's co-ed relays, and I need specific numbers. I need 3 boys and 2 girls per team. The girls, if I lose 1 girl, I kind of have to dissolve a team. So it ends up kind of changing things. So, and I gave them all kind of an ultimatum, I need to know tomorrow so we can make firm plans and move forward from there. But otherwise, just let us know if you can't make it. Generally speaking, I know that people have things, there are important things that people have to do. In order to get a varsity letter, it is worthy of noting they have to compete at least 6 meets. So that means that they miss more than 2, they're not going to be eligible for a varsity letter. Meet checkout procedure, it's similar to last year, but it's a slight difference. So at the meet, I will have a clipboard. I didn't bring it with me today, but I have a purple clipboard. Okay, and on the clipboard there's a sign out list, and it's a little different than the past. It used to be you had to find the name and you sign along the line. It's just a blank list this year. The one big difference is you need to make eye contact with myself, with Carly, or with Cindy, saying, this is my daughter, I signed her out, I'm taking her home. So if nothing else, it can be where's Isla? Oh, I saw her mom. Okay, cool, we're good. So not just a sign out, but that. The other part is, I commonly get questions about, we're really close friends with this family, can we bring them home? The answer is no, unless you pre-arrange it. There is a form on WenatcheeAthletics.com, it's called the Departure from Group form. And let's say, for example, you want your child to go home with somebody else's family, and that's fine with you. You fill this out, it can't be the day of, it's got to be at least a day in advance, and say, it has permission to ride home with so-and-so, then they're clear. Or the other option is sometimes we get meets are and I know students that go to Running Start have, I got a lab, I can't miss it, whatever, so they have to come later. They can't come with the team. That would be another time when you would do a departure from group, and basically you're releasing the school from liability for, taking care of your child during the trip. So, all right, meet schedule, biggest thing to know is athletic.net. It's gotten a little bit better. If you look at our athletics webpage and you go to schedule, it no longer sends you to Arbiter, which confuses the heck out of all cross country. Like Arbiter is set up for football, and it's like Wenatchee versus Moses Lake, and that's all it can think. It can't think of cross country where we're at the Ellensburg Invite and there's 30 schools there. It doesn't know what to do with that. So it's really confusing. And so athletic.net, and I think that BJ has set it up where that's where it sends you, and that's actually, that's where all the stats will go, information about what time the races are, all the details you need. Athletic.net is the place to go. We do have so our meets this year. Our first one is this Saturday, Ellensburg Relays. The next one is Shadle Park Highlander Invite, Shadle Park High in Spokane. The following week is our home invite. I'll talk about that in a second, but that's a really big deal for us. That's our big fundraiser for the year, and it takes a lot of people and needs a lot of help to make that happen. It's been very successful the last several years. It's our fundraising category has been quite healthy because of it, because we had so many teams and had so many people helping in different ways. So then the week after that, we have our first league meet down in Yakima. There's no meet that would have been last year. The week we went to Portland. We're not doing Portland this year. They moved it to a Friday, which to make it happen, we would have gone, raced in Yakima, got in the bus, got back to Portland, got there late, wouldn't been able to preview the course or do any team activities, race at 8 in the morning. It's like 2 races in 14 hours and none of the fun stuff. So we decided not to do that this year, which stinks because we really like it. Like, it's always like our favorite trip, and it's super fun. So anyways, instead, the following weekend, the following Saturday, we're going to the one we went to last year, Battle 509. It's at the Spokane Polo Grounds near the airport. That one we're going to stay the night for. So we're going to leave that night before. I think it's October 3rd. We'll leave kind of middle day. We'll go there, check into our hotel, do a practice on the course, and then go and do some team activities in Spokane, stay the night, get up Saturday, run our races, and come home. So that'll be kind of our team bonding overnight trip for the year, is that one.
Sorry, that's Friday, Saturday?
Yes, so October 3rd and 4th. So we would leave midday Friday.
And I thought I saw the Nike Portland invite on the 11th of October. Was that just...
Unless they changed it, I didn't see it.
Okay.
We're doing the hole in the wall meet in Arlington that day.
Okay.
When I heard that they had moved it it was the day before it was supposed to be. So
probably looked at the wrong
yeah, it's probably too late for me to change it now. So yeah, so 509 meet the following week, Lakewood, hole in the wall, really prestigious meet, really fast course, in a different part of the state, a different competition. Okay, so talk a little bit about the home invite. Our home invite is on September 20th. So it's 2.5 weeks from now. So 2 Saturdays and then that one. We have right now 38 high schools signed up. We have 13 middle schools. We usually get about 1,000 runners. I sent it out in my weekly email, but I need a lot of helpers. And there's lots of different ways that you can help. I need people to the finish line shoot. If you don't mind the potential of, helping a kid that just passed out get up or whatever, we need those helpers. Because we're at a public park, we have crossings, so I need people at the crossings to stop traffic in case there's someone. We don't want any collisions, obviously. I've got other jobs too, and if you're like, I don't have time, but I can give, we have a coach's hospitality tent for that. So if you could bring muffins or donuts or coffee or tea or whatever, something that coaches from other schools, that's one of the reasons they come here and they pay us money to come here, is that, they're welcomed, and that's been a really nice thing in the past. So take a look. I sent it out in the past week's email in the Sign Up Genius, and if you can sign up for one thing, that would be wonderful. We have 57 athletes signed up at the moment, so if everybody can do one thing, we're covered. And this is for 2 meets. I think it's going to get approved tomorrow, but get approved to host districts again. That's been back and forth. We were going to, and then we weren't, and then BJ thankfully is advocating for us, and I think we're going to get to host it, which is wonderful. So districts here, and you guys don't have to travel, but that does mean I need some helpers. And again, I'll send that out later. That's 8 weeks from now. So, okay. All right, next thing is I sent on the recent email is pasta feeds. I looked, we already have the first 4 pasta feeds signed up, which is wonderful. Whenever I ask athletes, what are your favorite things about the team of the season? Many times their answer is the pasta feeds. They go, they hang out with their teammates, they eat a bunch of food. One of the things I'm going to really work on this year is having the kids come up with games and things that they can do. Like this week I'm going to send my daughter with spike ball, a couple other games that they can play in the grass, and so they hang out. It's not just eat food and leave. Hopefully it's eat food, hang out, and have some fun. So, and if you're interested or willing to do that, you can sign up in the Sign Up Genius. You are basically saying you're willing to offer your house, cook the pasta and the sauce. Okay, the kids will bring all the side dishes, all the drinks, all the desserts, I guess, in utensils. So, paper plates tend to work really well for this, but that kind of thing. So if you're willing, that'd be wonderful. And those of you that have signed up, I really appreciate it. The kids really thank you, and it's always something they look forward to. Okay, a couple other topics. Uniforms and equipment. We handed out uniforms last week. If for some reason your athlete didn't get one, have them come check with me. I have plenty still left over. It's important that they know their numbers. I told them all when they were done, take your numbers, open a note in your phone, and write down the numbers. I'll tell you the most common thing. I've been coaching track cross country for this is my 25th year. It happens every year. Kids finish a race, they're tired, they take off their jersey to put on something else, and it goes into a pile with a bunch of other kids' jerseys. And you're like, well, I had a small, so they pick up a small, but it's somebody else's. And now, at the end of the year, somebody turns it into me and said, well, I turned it in, I know I did. And I said, well, I don't have it. I go by numbers. Whatever number was checked out to you is the one you need to give back to me at the end of the year. So it's important they know their numbers. Everyone has a uniform top and bottom. Most of us have warm-up jackets. It seems a little weird how hot it is. Girls have warm-up pants. So there's 3 to 4 items per kit. So, and whatever doesn't come back to me, I have to put in fines for it. So, and it's never anything personal. It's never like, it's just either if I have it, I check it off. If I don't, then I have to put in a fine. I tell the kids the most important piece of equipment we have is running shoes. We don't have helmets or pads or really or special anything. So the two most important things are your shoes and your water. Your shoes, what I would say is it's not just, they should be running shoes. They should be something that is comfortable to run in. You don't get blisters, you don't get arch pain. That after you run in it doesn't hurt your foot more. And I will put in a plug, Performance Footwear down here in Wenatchee is a wonderful spot. They support us. If you say you're in the Wenatchee cross country team, they'll give you a 10% discount. It is on the pricey side, but they do a really good job. And they have, in my opinion, the best shoes. I take my daughter there, and we've been very happy with them and their customer service and all that. So, then water.
They'll also do 30-day returns. If you try the shoes for Brooks, they'll take them back in 30 days and replace them.
Yep, yeah. So they'll do returns. If you try it out and it's not working, you can return it and get something different too. So that's good to know. And the other thing that's worth noting, they support our home invite. One of the things we don't do medals. Except for the top 3, and anyone that places top 10 in the race gets a t-shirt saying Wenatchee Invite, top 10 on the back. They sponsor it, so they're supporting our team and our kids that way too, which is kind of cool. Water, really emphasize water, especially this time of year. I tell the kids my expectation is they should have a water bottle with them at school. I've already done it to several of them. I see them in the hallway, where's your water bottle? And they can't show me, they're gonna hear it from me a little bit, especially this early season when it's super hot. Okay, they need to be hydrated before practice, not after they're tired and thirsty. And the third thing that I'm trying to emphasize this year is watches. Do not need a smartwatch, just a watch of some type with like a timer on it, okay? A lot of the running we do is based on time, and I'll say, hey, 30-minute run today, go out 15 and come back, okay? Or the other thing we'll do is we'll take our heart rate with our clocks. I've taught them how to do that. A lot of the running we'll do is based on heart rate, so they need to know how to find their heart rate. I've taught them how. If they don't have a watch, they have to rely on somebody else with a watch. So, and again, doesn't need to be expensive, doesn't need to be like, bigger. Like smartwatches are fine, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not a have to. A watch of some kind is a big deal, and something we're going to use a lot. Team Store. I'll send it out one more time. The deadline to order Team Store, this is a couple years ago, Team Shirt. You can still order Team Store up through midnight tonight. Okay, after that, that's the last extension I got. So if not, forever hold your peace. And like I said, it's a Team Store. You can T-shirts or sweatshirts basically. And again, not required, but if something that you or your athletes would like, they can do it. All right. Last couple things. Number one is injuries. Statistically speaking, more athletes are injured in cross country than football. It doesn't seem that way because football's a contact sport, but the reality is we are putting so much pressure on our legs, our ankles, our knees, our hips, our shins, our back, all these things because we do so much pounding. I always kind of jokingly say, if you want it easy, you should have played football. What we do is go hard all the time. We work, because I lived in the football world too. We work really hard and we push our bodies really hard. So anyways, injuries happen. So a couple things on that. I try to talk to the kids about the difference between being hurt and being injured. Being hurt is part of the game. Today we did a bunch of, we were on the bikes and we were doing strength and we were running indoors. They're probably hurting. Their probably legs are really tired or wobbly. Okay, that's normal to be expected. Injury is different. Injury is when your body's giving you acute signals of stop now, slow down. They need to talk to us. Talk to one of the coaches, tell us what's going on. We do have the benefit of an amazing sports med department, athletic trainers at our school that can work with them and give them treatment or ice or whatever, different recommendations of what they should or shouldn't do. But it's really important they keep the coaches in the loop. Kind of my pet peeve is when a kid disappears in sports med and it's like, well, where was where was Will today? I don't know. And then all of a sudden, oh, he was in sports med. What, I'm finding it out all after the fact. And so just keep us in the loop. It's probably the biggest thing. It may have. No, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to target, but it was just, I just saw you and I just had to say it. So anyways, so the other thing is there are going to be a lot of soft tissue injuries. A lot of shins, a lot of hamstrings, a lot of quads, a lot of calves. So there's roller sticks are really helpful. Some people like the really hard foam rollers too that you can roll on, like lay on sideways. All of those is you can break up some of the scar tissue and restore blood flow is all ways to help. So anyways, make sure they're just communicating with us. And like I said, it's not one where we deal with like head injuries, at least not normally. If we do, we got problems. But we deal with a lot of daily hurts, okay? And make sure they're talking to us and we know about it. Second, I call it the big three with the kids: sleep, eating, and hydration. I tell the kids that it is recommended they sleep at least 8 to 9 hours a night. That's what for their age and where they're supposed to be at. So I always put it on them as like part of studies have shown that athletes who get enough sleep are injured less often, perform better. There's all these other benefits. I always tell my students it's like a hidden superpower. Like you want to improve your life with one simple thing: get better sleep. So prioritize sleep. That also means you have to prioritize homework. You have to prioritize the other things you're doing in life so that you're not putting homework off until 2 in the morning and then you didn't get sleep. So anyways, hydration, already talked about that, huge. I said they should be drinking at least half of their body weight in fluid ounces a day. So that's quite a bit of water. So they should be drinking a lot. And eating. Part of it is they burn a lot of calories in the sport. They're putting their body through an immense amount of energy consumption, so they have to make up for that with getting enough calories in eating otherwise. So just important that they're doing that and eating well too. I always say food is fuel. You eat garbage, it's going to produce garbage as far as the way you practice and perform. So, and the last thing I don't talk about was lettering standards. The team handbook, I sent it out in my first weekly email. You can go back, I'll send it out again if you want. And it has the lettering standards in there. Basically, it's based on your grade and the course. So for 5K courses, there's a certain time based upon their grade and gender. And for 3-mile courses, it's the same idea. We have, I think we only actually have one 3-mile course this year because districts is being sent back to us. So anyways, make sure they look at it and know that, okay? That's something for them to shoot for, something for them to, and it does get harder. Seniors are expected to have a higher standard than freshmen and sophomores. So, but if you have any questions about that, let me know. So that's most of what I came up with. Are there any questions? All right, so if you have any other, if you want a one-on-one, feel free to stick around. I'd encourage you all to introduce yourself to Carly. She's great, we're really lucky to have her. She's doing a great job. So, and otherwise, you guys have a great night and hopefully to see you out in the course. All right, thank you.
I have one question. How many kids